When you come to the monarchical form of governance, which became a reality for most part of India, or for most part of Indo-India, for at least 17, 1800 years, depending upon the region that we are speaking about. This system was not as it was described by quote unquote the British historians. It is a very different system of governance. Sri Aurobindo says that at the apex was the king or the ruler. In fact, he also has made this point that there were women folk in governance as well. And we know from our history that there have been many queens who have ruled. So there certainly was space in Indian polity for women rulers. So instead of king, I think we should use the term ruler. So there was this ruler, and around that ruler was a council. Within the council, you had ministers. Now, here is an interesting thing that he speaks about, and we must take that into consideration. He says that the council as well as the council of ministers had representation from all the four varnas. This aspect is extremely important to notice. Why it is important to notice? Because the dominant narrative is that the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas, they were involved in governance and everybody else was denied a voice. But this is not what the reality is. There was participation from all the four varnas, and all the four varnas were represented in the Council of Ministers. Now, around the ruler and the council, you had two very powerful assemblies. Sri Aurobindo calls them Metropolitan Assembly and General Assembly. And then he describes them. Now, earlier I was talking about an isolated fact, right? Diwan-e-Aam and Diwan-e-Khas are basically reflection of that system of governance. Within the Muslim form of governance in India, at least, these two bodies were non-existent. They were introduced by Akbar. When you look at Akbar and when you look at his governmental policies, he stands out amongst Delhi sultans and other Mughal rulers. And if you look at the graph of economic decline of India in about 2000 years, you will find that during the rule of Akbar, there is a certain spike in the graph. Through his governmental policies, Akbar largely was able to establish harmony within the society, particularly in his later years. And this harmony that he established also showed in the rise of economic activity within the Indian civilization. So Diwan-e-Khas and Diwan-e-Aam, were reflections of these two assemblies that Sri Aurobindo speaks.